hear anything. This is the last time I'm trying this. I can't even figure out how to watch myself live on here. But anyway, if anybody makes it onto this, if there's any sound, we're going to be so happy. But I'm so sorry that this is taking me 10 years. I feel like I'm like the eldest bat in the world right now. Can you like hear? Thank you. Loud and clear. I appreciate anyone who's come back, who's been following me through these 6 different little live actions I've been going through right now to make this happen. We're here. Oh, we're here. We're live. Goth, Elder Bat after the Elder Bat office hours. Woo! We made it. We're Elder Bats. That's why it doesn't work so well. But anyway, I appreciate you all showing up here today and basically just wanted to hang out, get to know everybody, get to see what's going on. And yeah, I wanted to just talk too. Like my conversation for the evening that we can go through is going to be about just sort of goth in general, because coming on here and doing these videos have been so fun and enjoyable. But, I just want to, it's interesting to hear everybody else's different take on like what's going on with goth culture and the lifestyle. So I will let some more people show up. Hello, hello. I'm so happy to have you guys here. And I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's shown up for any of these videos and has been enjoying this sort of 90s nostalgia and goth culture. And I love it when I see little baby bats on here as well. Like, kind of like, I don't know, it just makes me feel good to bring us all together. And thank you so much. Is it Anna? I appreciate you guys. Oh, let's see. How's y'all show at Gallery Plus? Oh, hey. Ha ha ha. I was like, what? Gallery Plus? How do we? Yes, as you know, we are artists, and we did actually have an art show that opened this weekend as well. Hi. But yeah, so we went and we did have some art up on the wall. We tried to go to the show, it opened last night, and there was so much traffic. We ended up just kind of not making it to the opening. But I'm going to definitely get some pictures of that because the whole wall is full of art, and we have some pieces up there. But yes. Oh, my name is Sage, by the way. I know. I think I say it every time that I go on to my or make a video, like, hi, I'm Sage, but I didn't, yeah, I didn't even know. And yay, there's my buddy. I'm like, oh, who? I'm like, Anne, nice to see you. Chris. Hello. I have a friend on here from back in my old work days at Real Food Daily, the vegan restaurant in Los Angeles. Let me know if any LA people have ever been there. That was one of my growing up experiences that I love so much, was working at Real Food Daily in Los Angeles and Hollywood, or actually it was Beverly Hills, but that was good times. We were all secretly goth there. We didn't even know. It's funny, like we were talking about how we have these friends that we didn't really know were into all the same stuff that we were into. And then we later find out, we're like, what the hell? You were into that too? Oh, and I love you all. I love your video. Thank you so much. I'm going to put my glasses on too so I can see y'all a little better. But yay. I'm so happy there's people showing up here today. And I'm so happy we're creating this community. I love hearing what I love to do is make these videos kind of like, especially when I'm talking about like 5 top goth songs or whatever, and then just hear, because obviously there's any combination of songs that could be like top goth songs of all time. So it's always cool to see what it sparks and what bands I forget about, and having people like mention things, and it's just been great. Oh, well, it was nice. I appreciate anyone who showed up. I realized I was like, oh, what time? And I'm like, wait, there's so many fucking time zones. I don't know what to do. But I appreciate you for coming by, and I'll definitely do more earlier ones in the future. And let's see. The videos. Oh gosh, that undercore video. I thought nobody was going to have anything to say about that undercore video. I thought I was just like yelling out into the abyss, but it was so funny how many of you are like, hey, I remember that. Because to me, like, that was such a weird key, like late 90s Y2K moment when there were bands like Dead Z and Orgy. And a lot of people go like, well, that's not really goth, but it's goth adjacent. And that's the whole thing is, growing up in goth culture, you kind of like, there's obviously like other things in different styles of music, hi, that just like speak to you. And I just feel like if it was something that kind of got into my sensibilities, it probably got into someone else's sensibilities too. So I love hearing everybody's music tastes and all the things that make us into all the music background that we're into. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was funny. I didn't really know it had a name either until it was actually my husband, who knows a lot about Dead Sea, was like, they're the ones who coined this term, undercore. So I was like, oh shit, who knew? And hopefully I can get him on some of these videos, our other Bones and Black founder, because he's very music knowledgeable, although he'd probably be mad at me for saying that. One people. Oh yeah, the glam goth. I definitely feel like somebody else called it sci-fi goth or space goth, which I thought was pretty funny too. I guess like, honestly, when I was like 12, 11, 10, like that was my scene in like the late 80s, like as a little kid was like glam rock, which I always think makes sense because you can end up getting into like, it makes sense that like I get into like Christian Death. I mean, I think Roz Williams could have been in like a butt rock glam band back in the day, right? But yeah, so it's funny because I'm like, yeah, I did listen to a little bit of Men in Makeup in the early years, and that kind of probably prompted my love for goth culture. Just keep the makeup on forever. You seen October Burns? No. Oh shit. There was some band that I reviewed too that had like a logo that kind of looked like it. We call this the witchy stick logo because it kind of looks like witchy sticks. I don't know. But yeah, thank you. Again, this is a design by our other founder, Sean Gatlin, our amazing artist. But yeah, so I wanted to kind of have a topic to talk about today. I thought that would be kind of fun to like every time, like maybe just sort of see where you guys stand on some subject matters. And I know we've talked a lot about like how just goth in general has changed over the years. Like when I grew up, when I was getting into the scene, it was so much about like, oh, hell yeah, yay! Appreciate buying shirts, by the way, ding, ding, ding. That also helps support us and do our thing. So appreciate you. Everybody looks good in a Bones and Black shirt. But yeah, I was thinking about how like goth culture, like when I was growing up, was very much about like the music, the scene. And I think even for people who grew up in the 80s, it was even more felt like this music sort of environment. Because I know that a lot of elder bats when I was young were like, what do these little 90s kids know about anything? So, but it was always about music. And now there's this whole internet world, and it's so interesting to see like how many people are telling me that like sometimes goth isn't really about the music anymore. It's about just the look, and it's about the culture has kind of changed. And I never even thought about the fact that there's people out there that were dressing super goth, but like maybe didn't listen to the music. And that made me actually think, I was like, what the hell are they listening to instead? Like what's going on? And I don't know, but like, where do you think the line draws as far as like what considers goth culture? Susan Jacket video. Oh yes. I try to hand Oh, you know what? I used to get like old suitcases and reupholster the inside of them. It was hilarious. But yes, goth is not about the music. It's a weird stance in my. It's not all about. Okay, yeah, I'm interested in that, and that's kind of like the cool thing about yeah, is just like what constitutes goth, because like now I get to the points where I see people who, like the whole thing with Halloween, kind of like taking they're listening to Sabrina Carpenter. All right, all right, all right, that's interesting. I mean, it could happen. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, really. But I guess, is the aesthetic enough on its own? Or do you have to kind of know where it comes from? I kind of feel like as we're moving through the decades here, it's getting further away from the music. And definitely, like I just feel like TikTok culture has definitely created an environment where people just sort of will put on a persona and not necessarily, I don't know, man. Without the music, I don't know what we would be doing, right? But yeah, like when I was growing up, it was way different. I remember the elder bats always kind of looking at me like we didn't know what the hell we were talking about as far as youngins go. But like I remember when I used to go to the goth club, Roderick's Chamber, not Roderick's Chamber, Winter Gone By in San Francisco. That was my first San Francisco goth club. But like all of the elder bats there were just going like, it was so much better at House of Usher, and of course everybody knows House of Usher. I think it's lame to be honest. Let's see what people are saying here. Looks music value. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there has to be a little bit of music and literature. Yeah, Tim Burton. Yeah, I love Jack's. It's interesting. Yeah, that definitely changed things. I remember when Nightmare Before Christmas came out in the first place. I was like not into it. I wasn't feeling it for some reason. I think like we were like at that point still like sort of like anti goth, anti things that seemed like they were coming off goth. And yeah, the TikTok thing is a phase for sure. And I'm interested to see how it changes things though. Without the music, there would be no scene. Without the scene, there would be no aesthetic. Amen. But I feel like did the scene create it, and now the scene is like letting it go off into this other universe. You know what I mean? Tried to go on the beginning. I feel like the door. You know what? It's so funny. When I was a little kid, my mom's Doors album became like the thing that I would listen to at home. I knew it was creepy. I knew it was different, and it's funny how that band kind of like starts you off. I was like a little kid when I was listening to that. They didn't. They're like, oh, she won't know what the hell they're talking about. And Gothic literature too. I mean, I don't even know as much about like what kind of be out there in Gothic literature. Literature. I've read Anne Rice, but I don't think that's Gothic literature. Yeah, I know what. Well, so what do you guys think about like the whole Halloween thing? Like the fact that Halloween has become such a like everybody's spooky now and Summerween, and I feel like it's kind of like watered it down to the point where I'm just like, and the people that are into Halloween, I used to be very much like our scene, right? And now Halloween kind of belongs to everybody, and I guess that's part of the fun of it. Let's see. Amen to all of those musics, all of those choices. Oh, Poppy C. Bright. Oh, my bestie. She got me into Poppy C. Bright. She was such a great writer. Oh, it was so good. But yeah, like things like that. I guess I feel like that's part of the culture, right? And I mean, I guess nowadays it's not as much. Like, I'm interested. I guess the kids can listen to Sabrina Carpenter and then dress all in black and feel like they're edgy for their own little crew or scene that they're in. I don't know. It's an interesting thing for me, and like the whole like bedroom goth versus like club goth. And there's so many people who say you have to be really go to a club to really be part of the scene, but do you? Like, what about people who don't have any access to JoJo? Oh, she's pretty goth. I've seen that glitter on her face. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, do you have if you have no scene, you have nothing but the internet. That's like the only place you can really go to talk to people. And so I don't know. It's interesting. Let's see. Gothic. Interesting. That's a newer. I love how anything from 2000 is newer to me. That's pretty pathetic. There's so many new goth bands. I know. And the thing is, like, back when I used to listen, I'd always search out bands that nobody else was listening to. And nowadays, there's just like you have unlimited access to brand new bands, and it's interesting, but it's also kind of like whoa, like, yeah, we need to know what the good ones are because I've been doing more. I want to do more reviews of good bands as well. But yeah, no, 2000 was a very long time ago. We're late completely. I hate the fact that I literally think like 2000 was recently. That's the strangest thing. Started with romantic literature and paintings. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like a lot of people will take it all the way back to like, I don't know, the dark ages. But I mean, if we think modern goth, I don't know. Let's see. Admit the everybody with Backstreet doesn't take me as a child. See? Yeah. See, it's interesting though. I don't really care what your gateway in is, as long as the gate leads you, to the right path. Hey, welcome back. Oh, there's Shane. There we go. Yeah, John Waters, like all of those things. Like I feel like when I was little, I always joke around, like I have a whole video about London After Midnight. Now that band, I always think of kind of a cliche, but when I it was like one of the first bands I heard, so it was exciting to me, and it was like kind of helped shape my goth culture. Later on, I was like, well, I don't know, maybe this isn't quite like me. I found the classic bands at that point, so then I was like, okay, now I'm listening to Sisters of Mercy, and now I'm listening to all this shit. Like like, and then I would go out and nobody's listening to London After Midnight, but I was so happy because I was just happy that it got me there. Like whatever gets you there, whether it's a Nickelodeon TV show or like a Backstreet Boys song on a movie, or apparently like we watched Showgirls the other night. Have you heard that soundtrack? It's all like cool goth songs. How does that happen? But maybe somebody watched that and then like dabbled. Was like, well, that was a cool song that whatever Naomi was like dancing to, and decided to like pick it up. I don't know. It's a great. How did that happen? How did that soundtrack happen? Yes, video games too are another place where like, and that's awesome. Like to me, like if that's how a kid finds goth, I don't fucking care how you get there. Just let's just get there together, you know? Does anyone else feel that way? Oh yeah. They're special. They really are. I feel like even if people that don't like them still hold a special place for that band. You know what I mean? I think they definitely belong somewhere in there. I can see my earrings right now. I'm all, ooh. Let's see, with mystery animation to encourage people to view subculture as commodities. That's so true. Yeah. Subculture are divorced from the essence. It becomes it's so true. And then it makes me just feel like, is that just the future of things, or things just getting less meaningful, you know? Yeah, Doom 2, that has a cool soundtrack. Hello and welcome in, by the way. Seeing new people show up. Hi there. Kai? Is that it? But yeah, so yeah, we're kind of just talking about what makes goth. Old psychobilly culture as gravity. I definitely feel like that's sort of like we all circulate around the orbit around the same thing with that for sure, like psychobilly and rockabilly. I also we're really into like not tiki culture, but we really like exotica music, which I don't know. Does like anybody in I feel like it kind of goes along with the whole thing. Adam's Family, that show is the best. Uh, I do, and I agree with you. My gateway is back. That makes me. I mean, you know what? Speaking of, not to age myself out of the Backstreet Boys, but I always think about New Kids on the Block and how they, pretty sure in their Hanging Tough video, one of the guys is wearing a Joy Division T-shirt, and this was way before the Joy Division shirt was like overly, overly. I'm sorry, my head keeps getting cut off here. Overly shown, like overdone. And every time I see that video, I'm like, why is the guy from New Kids on the Block wearing a fucking Joy Division's t-shirt? That's interesting. But hey, maybe some kid saw that in 1989 or whatever and was like, let me check this out. And was like, wait, I like the way this sounds way more than the Backstreet Boys. And we went from there. What do you think? I don't know. Let's see. But yeah, goth culture's changed a lot. Music, we think it still matters. I think it still matters. I'm interested to see how music goes as far as like, because like you were saying, like there's so many bands out there now and so many new bands. And with TikTok, you can just get access to so much music. It's like, how do we know, like, how did Twin Tribes get famous? Because that's one of the bands that I know is like a big major goth band that I would say is going to become a classic. Would you say so? And like, how did that kind of get discovered in our modern world? Like, I feel like we have more choices now. So how does something kind of rise up? I guess it's still the club culture too. Like what's going to be played at the goth clubs is going to probably influence what people are really diving into on the internet. I don't know. It's interesting to see how things change. But I also have always loved the way DJs kind of curate a scene and how you can live on one side of the country, you can live on another side of the country, and you're going to get a taste of totally different music. I mean, you're going to get a lot of the same stuff, but sometimes it's like a local band from New York or LA, and that gets played on your local DJ's music, and it just becomes like it's just, like different things just become popular in different people's heads. And so the community, even though we all listen to similar music, it's so amazing how literally from like San Francisco to LA, there's a different playlist going on because different DJs are going to create tunes that are like and create an environment and curate your taste in music. And it's just interesting because like for a lot of us, going to clubs and going to shows was how we found new music. And now it's a little different. Like you can just go, you're inundated with new music online. You're inundated with things from like TikTok and Instagram. And I don't know, like back in the day when we wanted to hear a band demo, you had to search out that band or go to like some nightclub and watch like a bunch of shitty bands. And then maybe there's a good one that's playing. But it's interesting now that as a band, you can just go on TikTok and kind of put your music out there and get discovered that way. I don't know if anybody is doing music out there. I'd like to hear how that goes. And I also know that like one of my favorite things that I hear kids do is go on Spotify and find bands that have the least amount of listens and start listening to that. Like discovering new music is very interesting these days. So anybody else got anything else to say about all that fun stuff? It's interesting. Like watching culture change, especially, as we get older and we've seen so much different things pass us by and, just cultures shape and change and the ebbs and flows of society. It's always interesting. Like, I feel like when we get older, we might even have a better way of kind of predicting what's next because we've seen so many things. But I don't know. I don't know if you need a scene to really be goth. I don't know if you need music to really be goth. I kind of feel like you do, but I could be crazy. But it's interesting. But as far as an entry point, we've decided to like kind of anything goes as far as entry points into listening to the music. But I really appreciate you guys coming out for this today. I'm sorry I've had a bunch of spills on my getting this going, but I'm just happy that we are all here. And I'm going to do this next week as well. I just want to try to get in the habit of maybe having some conversations. Different people can show up if you're here. I'll try some different time stamps as well. But yeah, we could talk about goth culture, nostalgia, the movies, anything going on. Let's see. I think I might end it today at this point. I just want to let you know that I'm so happy that you are here and that I definitely am looking forward to more videos. Let me know what kind of things you want to see more of too. Do you want to see more reactions? Do you like the movie stuff? Do you like talking about like top 5 songs we've ever listened to? I don't know. I'll talk about it all. I'll talk about anything. Like if you haven't watched my Thanksgiving food video where I compare goth bands to Thanksgiving food, that's something to check out as well. Let's see. All right. Thank you again so much for showing up. I think I'm going to take off for now. I've got some things to do in the corner over there, but I love you all. Thank you again. And we will do this again next week. And guess what? I will have the volume on and all of those good things. And I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you again. Have a good night. And we'll see you on the next one. Mwah.